Peace, family. Welcome back to another episode of Speaking with Duns. This episode is going to be called Definitions. Like you suffer because you define things as they are. When you grow up, you're born and they tell you this is what life is. This is a squirrel. This is a tree. This is a balloon. This is that. This is this. And so on. So collectively, your mind just accepts it and builds and keeps learning. But that's really the main reason why you suffer because you think that everything has already been defined, but you can't see all of life. You can't hear all of life. Even you yourself, in your own senses, that takes in the information that you see as that you call life. You're only filtering about 5% of it that you're consciously aware of. Everything else is subconscious. So it's like all these definitions of these things that we have are also hindering our understandings of them. Like, what is a day? We don't know what a day is. It's just that's what we define it. What is a tree? Like, what is the sky? Like, what is the moon? What is the sun? Like, what is an arm? What are eyes? What are ears? Like, those are just things that we define. They exist, but our definitions of them are for our own understanding and for our own development, but also it's our own limitations. So everything you define either helps you or hinders you. So you have to do the same thing with life and for like your own life. Like, who are you? Are you defining yourself as a good thing for yourself or a bad thing for yourself? Are you defining yourself as, something positive for your own reality or something negative for your own reality? Is life in your favor or not in your favor? Like those type of questions are what you have to ask yourself, and always have to, look back and take a moment to look back and say, how am I defining all of this thing that's going on? What I'm saying? It's not what you think. It's not as concrete as you think. So it's constantly changing. So you constantly have to change your definition to it to some degree. So it's like, how are you defining it as? Like, my point was, what I was saying was, some people wake up and they're super happy, and some people wake up and they're miserable, completely miserable. And it's not even the fact that it's what they have or don't have. It's all in their mind, Like, you wake up, you have all your limbs, you have your perfect heartbeat, you can breathe, you have food to eat, you have shelter, you know what I'm saying? You have internet, you have a phone, you have cars, you have most people in the Western world got everything they need to be living in paradise mentally. You have everything you need to be living in paradise mentally. But it's the Western world and, just the world in general, just how society works that tells you, this is what life is. And deep inside it's not. And that's the thing. Like, your soul knows that life is not exactly as it is, you know? Because it's an illusion, and to a point it's illusion. You know it, but you don't want to believe it because your logical mind says I need A plus B equals C. So as long as your mind keeps wanting to see it like that, it'll always need to define the A. It'll always need to define the B, and it will always need to define the C. But it can never see A, B, or C because your brain is too small for that. It's not built for that. It's like a single overhead cam engine is not built to handle 10,000 horses of 10,000 horsepower. It can't do it. It's like, I know I make a lot of car references, but hey, if you know cars, you know cars. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so that's it. Make sure you have a good day. As long as we keep defining life based on how we think we see it, then we'll always miss the point. But that is how life works anyway. So the point is to always be aware that, yes, you are making a definition, but that's just your best ability to do so. It's not the climax of the story. Like, there's no way you can define the whole thing, but you're just trying within the process. And that trying is the best that you can do because that's all you have. That sounds a little confusing. It's redundant. Like, how do you put that into a good sentence? It's like, it's kind of like when you go to an art class and they give you, all the material, and they say paint, and they give you like a painting that you're supposed to duplicate, like, and you've never painted before. So it's like, you're not gonna paint this the best way. You're not gonna get a one for one, like 100% copy. You're just not, and it's okay, and you don't have to keep suffering of thinking, hey, this sucks because I'm not doing it exactly as I'm supposed to. Instead of saying, hey, I'm painting, like, oops, there's some paint on the floor. Oops, there's some paint over here. Oh, well, like, that's what it takes to learn how to paint. It's how you look at it. It's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Your definition of how you see life is how life is to you and how it works. And the reason why the way you think about life is as valid as anything in the world is because that's your perspective of the world, and you are part of the world, and you are part of that soul energy that can manipulate the world. So you're more powerful than you think, and if you choose willingly or unwillingly to think in a negative state or define life in a negative state, then all power be to you. That's just the way it works. All power be to you. So me, I keep it on a positive note because I see, like, how many people will live and die. It's like all of us will go. So what are we here for? What are we here for? What are we here for? But if not to have fun, you know? What else? There's nothing so serious in life that the laws of the universe says they have to go with us. Like, just think about that. There's nothing here that's like so valid and so serious that the laws of nature says we must accompany this with us, except for the fact that that energy, that this to be able to move, the motion, the energy, the life force, you know, that's it. That's it. The leaves blowing in the wind and you moving your fingers are the same thing. There's no difference between the two. All right. That's all I got. So, peace and love. Until the next one. Bless.